So I wanted to share a little video footage from a project that I worked on this last summer. My spouse and I needed a headboard for our king-size bed, and I was originally going to buy something new, but I decided at the last minute that I would maybe try to build something, and around that time she found a fantastic looking headboard on Facebook Marketplace. The picture made it look really appealing. When I went to pick up the headboard, it was actually a lot rougher in the details. You can see here that I'm actually pulling out a lot of metal staples. There was some kind of a sticky tape on the back, I guess, to prevent it from rubbing up against the wall. There were gouges. Anyway, it had clearly been well used before it had come into my possession, and it was clear that it was going to need to be refitted. Near as I can tell, the headboard is knotty pine. It's solid wood for the most part, but the very front of it is a veneer, which makes sense because the grain of the wood runs in two diagonal directions toward each other. It's kind of a decorative flourish. Underneath the veneer is a plywood, I think, but I'm not 100% sure. I should also say that the stain that came with this headboard has kind of a red tint to it, and I didn't hate it. It had seen better days, and it was clearly time that it get a fresh coat. But as you can see in the finished results later, I ended up doing something that wasn't too far off from what it must have originally looked like. So after doing a bit of sanding, I discovered that there was some old wood filler that had been placed in a deep crack at the base of one of the legs of the headboard, and it was pretty brittle, so I decided that it would be best to just dig it all out and put new wood filler in there. I love my random orbital sander. I can't tell you how much time this thing saved me, but as you can see here, there's a lot of nooks and crannies that it just would not fit into, and you can see that I'm trying to force it to take on jobs that I probably should be doing by hand, but I was also extremely careful, and fortunately didn't have any problems with rounding off the edges or anything like that. After I'd finished completely sanding the headboard down, I got started repairing some of the problems, and right here you can see that I'm actually slapping some putty onto a pretty deep gouge. There were several gouges like this one that I had to work through, and I had to work pretty fast because, as you can see, I'm working outside. The sun was coming down pretty hot with temperatures in the 80s, I think, and it just didn't give me a whole lot of time before this wood filler set up. It's a new day, and I am outside on another sunny day, and I noticed a little salamander, or I'm not sure what it is actually, but he visits me every now and then on the porch, and so I was able to get some footage of him. I am admiring one of the great pleasures in life, which is that day after you sand down the wood filler and you see that it perfectly matches all of the various contours of your project. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to attach these wood finials. It is crazy how long it took me to find these. When I first saw the headboard up close, I mean, one of the first things that I did notice was that the bed post or the finials on the side were missing. I don't know what they used to look like, but I decided that I'd go looking online to see if I could find a replacement. And I ended up finding lots of replacements, but none of them were the right size. And so I kind of cobbled together these finials. It's actually 3 different pieces. There's the base piece of the finial, which is made out of hard maple, and then the top piece, which is I think red oak, and I kind of glued them together and crossed my fingers that it would take the stain in the same way. And so now I'm just gluing on a dowel, getting it ready to attach.
Welcome to the repair shop.
Living life, every day, late at night, not okay. All I want, and I pray, all I need are some better days. Fuck me, I'm looking in the mirror, so foggy, but I've never seen clearer. I don't really think anyone can save me, and honestly I'm not really sure I want saving. I like to be my own worst enemy. There's no risk if you don't try at anything, so I'ma just keep buying everything. See you in the next life, have to be a better me. I don't think that my head's on straight, gotta flip it and grip it and go and get an x-ray. What's wrong with me? I just feel weight pushing on my chest and it squeezes till I suffocate. Better change my mindset, meditate. It's pretty cool that I'm alive and have better days. I could walk, see, hear, I should celebrate. Think I could change my mind, maybe elevate. Living life every day.
So the headboard has been completely prepped. I've filled up all the gashes. I've stripped down all of the stain and the finish. And what I am ready to do now is add on some wood conditioner. If you don't know, wood conditioner is just a chemical that you apply just to make sure everything comes out even. And I had really good results with it here.
Living with no shame. Wait, no, it's sleeping in on Sundays. I guess it's different for each of us and that's okay. Well, I just wanna be happy. How to get there? Glad that you asked me. I think it's different for everyone. Some of us need work, others need fun. Some of us need purpose to overcome. But try to do what you love when it's said and done, cause there's so many differences in each of us. Trust your gut, it can show you what you want. Living life, every day, late at night, not okay. All I want, and I pray, all I need are some better days. Yeah, all I need are some better days. Cause all I want, and I pray, I believe in the better days. Living life, every day, late at night, not okay. All I want, and I pray, all I need are some better days. Yeah, all I need are some better days. Cause all I want, and I pray, I believe in the better days.
After letting the wood conditioner dry, it was time to move on to the stain. And for this stain, I chose to use a Varathane product called Gunstock. And I think you can do 2 coats. If I remember correctly, I was actually pretty happy with just the 1 coat. I didn't want to get it too dark. And so it has a little bit of that reddish tint to it that I talked about at the very beginning of the video, and I wanted to retain that little bit of a red, so I went with Gunstock, and I'm really happy with the results. I'm looking at this now, you can tell I'm very cautiously applying it. After you sink a ton of work into something, and I'd never used gunstock before, and so I wasn't sure how it was going to take, and so I'm kind of watching it very closely as I do this. And how about those birds in the background? I am in love with my neighborhood during the springtime. There's a lot of trees, and so we end up getting a lot of birds. And basically during this entire project, it was kind of a meditative experience because I could just listen to birds the entire time. And then I'm wiping it off, and you can see how I'm kind of going diagonally here. That's actually with the grain. Remember that I talked about how there was a veneer on the very front that was at a diagonal, and so that's kind of what we're looking at here is, but then it stops right in the middle, and the diagonal runs in a completely different direction. Finally, it is time to put on some polyurethane. I selected this product because I was told that over time it will introduce kind of a little bit of a yellowing. I think adding just a little bit of a yellow tint to that would look good. So that's kind of what I'm going for, and I know polyurethane protects the wood really well. So here I'm just being careful to apply it with the grain. And after 4 coats of the polyurethane, I am finally finished with my headboard. Thanks for watching, everyone.